The story begins with a man who changed the world forever. Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, was the man who attained everything the world had to offer: wealth, fame, and power beyond imagination. He conquered the Grand Line, the most dangerous sea in the world, and collected treasures that no one could even dream of. But when he was captured and sentenced to execution, he did not go quietly. With his dying words, he ignited a fire that would burn across the world for generations to come. My treasure. If you want it, you can have it. Find it. I left everything I own in one piece. Those words drove countless souls into the vast sea, plunging the world into the great pirate era. Everyone set sail toward the Grand Line in search of the One Piece, the legendary treasure that would make its finder the king of the pirates. And among those who answered the call was a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy, a boy with a dream so big that it would shake the world. Luffy grew up in a small village called Foosha Village in the East Blue, the weakest of the four seas. He was raised by his grandfather, Monkey D. Garp, a legendary marine vice admiral who wanted Luffy to become a great marine soldier. But Luffy had other plans. From a young age, he idolized pirates, particularly Shanks, the captain of the Red Hair Pirates, who visited Foosha Village regularly. Shanks became a father figure to Luffy, a man who inspired him to chase his dreams. Luffy admired Shanks's courage, his honor, and his unwavering loyalty to his crew. He wanted to be just like him. One day, while Shanks was in Foosha Village, Luffy did something foolish. He ate a mysterious fruit that he found on Shanks's ship, unaware that it was the Gomu Gomu no Mi, a devil fruit that would turn his body into rubber. The fruit gave him incredible powers, but it also cursed him to never be able to swim, a serious disadvantage for a pirate. Luffy didn't care. He was one step closer to becoming a pirate. He also received a straw hat from Shanks, a precious gift that Shanks had worn since his youth. Shanks made Luffy promise that he would return the hat to him when he became a great pirate. Luffy spent the next 10 years training in the wilderness, honing his abilities and building his strength. He wanted to form his own crew and set sail for the Grand Line. He didn't want to be a pirate like the others, though. He wanted to be the Pirate King, the man who would find the One Piece and claim the title that Gold Roger once held. Luffy's goal was simple and powerful. He would become the king of the pirates, and nothing would stand in his way. The East Blue was Luffy's first challenge. A sea filled with small islands and weak pirates, but also a place where he would find his first crewmates and begin his journey. His first true test came when he met Kobe, a young boy who dreamed of becoming a marine. Luffy helped Kobe escape from Alvida, a pirate captain who had enslaved him. Luffy also defeated Alvida easily, demonstrating his incredible strength. Kobe was grateful, but he also understood that his path lay with the Marines, not with pirates. Luffy didn't mind. He had already found the first person who would join his crew. Luffy's next encounter was with Roronoa Zoro, a fearsome pirate hunter who had been captured by the Marines and was about to be executed. Zoro was known as the Pirate Hunter, because he had hunted down many pirates to make a name for himself. He was a swordsman who used 3 swords simultaneously, a style known as Santoryu. Luffy was impressed by Zoro's strength and his refusal to give up, even in the face of death. Luffy freed Zoro from the execution post and offered him a place on his crew. Zoro initially refused, but Luffy was persistent. He told Zoro that he wanted to become the Pirate King, and Zoro realized that Luffy was not an ordinary pirate. Zoro, who had his own dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman, agreed to join Luffy's crew. Together, they sailed to the next island. The island of Orange Town was controlled by the evil clown pirate Buggy the Clown, who had the power of the Bara Bara no Mi, a devil fruit that allowed him to split his body into pieces. Buggy was terrorizing the town, and Luffy and Zoro intervened. They met a girl named Nami, a thief who was navigating the seas. Nami had her own reasons for being there, and she initially tricked the two pirates. But Luffy and Zoro were determined to defeat Buggy and help the people of Orange Town. They faced Buggy and his crew, and Luffy, with his rubber powers, was able to defeat Buggy, despite his strange abilities. Buggy was humiliated and defeated, and Nami, impressed by Luffy's courage, decided to join the crew. Though she made it clear she was only looking out for herself. Luffy welcomed her, knowing that she was a skilled navigator, which was essential for any crew. Luffy's next adventure took them to the island of Foosha Village, where they met Usopp, a young boy who was a liar and a storyteller. Usopp loved to tell tall tales, and he would run through the village shouting, "Pirates are coming." His stories were often met with laughter. But he had a kind heart and a desire to become a brave warrior of the sea. Luffy and his crew learned that Usopp's village was under threat from Captain Kuro, a pirate who had been hiding on the island, pretending to be a butler. Kuro was a ruthless and cunning pirate who planned to take over the village and claim the inheritance of a wealthy family. Usopp was the only one who suspected the truth, and he tried to warn the villagers, but no one believed him. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami decided to help Usopp. They fought Kuro and his crew, and Luffy, with his rubber powers, was able to defeat Kuro in a fierce battle. Usopp, grateful for Luffy's help and inspired by his courage, decided to join the crew. He would become the crew's sniper, and his ability to tell tall tales would be useful for their adventures. The crew's next destination was the Bharati, a floating restaurant on the sea. There, they met Sanji, a cook who dreamed of finding the All Blue, a legendary sea where fish from all four oceans could be found. Sanji was a skilled fighter, using only his legs in combat, a style he had learned from his mentor, Zeph, the owner of the Bharati. Sanji was stubborn and prideful, but he had a kind heart and a deep respect for food. Luffy and his crew visited the Bharati to eat, but they were attacked by Don Krieg, a powerful pirate captain who had come to the East Blue to recover from his defeat in the Grand Line. Don Krieg wanted to take over the Bharati and use it as his base. Luffy and Sanji fought together to protect the restaurant, and Luffy defeated Don Krieg in a fierce battle. Sanji, impressed by Luffy's determination and his respect for food, decided to join the crew. He would become the crew's cook, and his culinary skills would be essential for their long journeys. With 5 members, Luffy's crew was taking shape. Their next stop was the island of Foosha Village, where Nami's past was revealed. Nami had been a member of Arlong's pirate crew, a ruthless group of fishmen who had enslaved her village. Arlong was a powerful fishman who controlled the East Blue with an iron fist. Nami had been forced to work for Arlong, drawing maps and navigating the seas, all to save her village from destruction. She had saved enough money to buy the village's freedom, but Arlong had betrayed her and stolen the money. Nami was devastated, and she turned to Luffy for help. Luffy, without hesitation, marched to Arlong Park and declared war on Arlong. He fought Arlong and his crew with all his strength, and after a brutal battle, Luffy defeated Arlong and destroyed his base. Nami was freed from her servitude, and she joined the crew, finally embracing Luffy as her captain. The village of Foosha was saved, and the people celebrated their newfound freedom. With Nami fully committed to the crew, Luffy and his friends sailed to the island of Logtown, the town where Gold Roger was born and executed. It was a place of great significance, where the Pirate King's journey began and ended. There, they faced more challenges. Luffy was almost captured by the Marines, but he was saved by his father, Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, who appeared in the town to stop the Marines. Luffy also met the pirate hunter Smoker, a Marine captain who would become a recurring foe. Luffy and his crew escaped from Logtown, and they set sail for the Grand Line, the most dangerous sea in the world. The Grand Line was a place of unimaginable danger and wonder. Luffy and his crew entered the sea, but they faced many challenges. They encountered sea kings, giant monsters that could destroy ships. They faced violent storms and treacherous currents. They also encountered other pirates, some friendly and some hostile. Luffy and his crew grew stronger with each battle, each challenge, each adventure. They formed unbreakable bonds, and they became a family. Luffy had formed a crew of loyal and powerful individuals. Zoro, the swordsman, was dedicated to becoming the strongest swordsman in the world. Sanji, the cook, was searching for the All Blue. Nami, the navigator, was creating maps of the world. Usopp, the sniper, was becoming a brave warrior of the sea. And Luffy, the captain, was determined to become the king of the pirates. Together, they set sail for the Grand Line, ready to face whatever awaited them. They would face powerful enemies, make new allies, and discover the secrets of the world. They would laugh together, cry together, and fight together. They were the Straw Hat Pirates, and their adventure was just beginning. Luffy's journey is far from over. He and his crew will continue to face new challenges, new enemies, and new adventures. They will discover the true meaning of friendship, loyalty, and dreams. They will fight for their beliefs, protect the innocent, and bring justice to the world. And one day, they will find the One Piece and make Luffy the king of the pirates. But no matter what happens, they will always be together, sailing the seas, chasing their dreams, and fighting for what they believe in.